this is me from another life. I just want to tell you guys I'm here to say, make sure you like, share, subscribe. You feel me? Y'all see me working hard, putting the work in the content. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you also follow me, twitch.tv/dprofit24. It's up there, but yeah, man, let me know what kind of content you guys want to see. Summons, tips, tricks, guides. When you say you want to see it, I do it, and then I don't see y'all there. I'm just wondering, like, you feel me? Twitch.tv/dprofit24, man. I hope to see you guys in the video. What's going on? Back plugged in again. With your boy, the Prophet. Hey, yo, man, you guys see the video, you see the thumbnail, you already know we back plugged it again with another tier list video. So yeah, man, power is a very, very stacked attribute, and we just got a new character, being the Machine Sadio Luigi. So she will be ranked in this video as well. But you better get it popping. I hope you guys enjoy the content. Let's get it lit. Drop my shit.
They lift the down bad, I had to come up. Down into the sun. I had to switch up. No, I ain't mad at you. I just had to come up and look at just what that bag could do. I charged into the game cause I said I won't complain. Ain't been no sunny days, I had to get it out the rain. Look.
And we back plugged in again. Alright, y'all. Let's go ahead and start the tier list off. We're gonna get right into it with the D tier. So this whole tier, none of these characters have Frenzy or Flurry, so just keep that in mind. This is Hell vs Ichigo. He does have weakening on some of his attacks with Debilitator, 25 Nad Link, Holo Killer. He is a melee auto character, so that's going to lend him to be a little bit better than most of the other characters. Omaida is range with Soul Reaper Killer and Captain Killer, and he does have Bombardment. That's his best quality, but like I said, no Frenzy, no Flurry, and he's a low stamina damage character. This Orihime is actually a very solid autoer for Soul Reaper content, just that she's a safe character, and you know, she has a really, really good Nad string. Aside from that, full stamina damage, you know, it kind of cost her, but at the end of the day, man, this is a very old character, so I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about her. She is a very solid autoer, and she does have Bombardment as well with Soul Reaper Killer, full stamina damage link. This Kisuke is a Nad Link, Holo Killer. Once again, ranged Nad is extremely slow, especially for like Holo Killer and Soul Reaper Killer content. Really all of them, Arankar as well. But yeah, this Kisuke and this Retsu are both Nad Links, Holo Killer, range, paralysis, lacerate, just low tier characters. Little girl Yachidu, 14 SAR. She does have Bombardment. She has a solid first strong attack because it's a lunge, but her second is a range collision, split attack in 3, so it's one of the worst strong attacks in the game. And this Uryu, even after getting resurrection, is still trash. He has one of the worst type of Nad strings you can have. It's just the OG type of Nad string. It is what it is, right? Cayenne Pepper over here, range collision first, vortex second, full screen third. Soul Reaper Killer with strong attack recharge. Very mediocre character. This is before they're getting Bruiser and Berserker with all the goodies that they're getting now. Mayuri, he's a DR Link with Soul Reaper Killer, poison on everything. His third strong attack is it's a solid strong attack, but it hits in 2 waves, so it's not really the best. He does have a full melee collision kit, which is kudos to him. DR Link slows him down, you know, no Berserker, right? So yeah. Hanataro, pretty much the same as Mayuri, except, you know, he's a 16 DR Link, and he doesn't have weakening. He's a heal, so he has that going for him, but pretty underwhelming character. This Rukia, for having Frenzy, has one of the worst kits you could possibly have. Like, seriously. Her first is a tri-split magnification range collision attack, which is literally one of the worst strong attacks you can have. It's the same as Little Girl Yachidu's second strong attack. Her third is pretty much the same as 5th anniversary Byakuya, except it doesn't have Havoc. So it's a full screen forward, and it hits in 2 phases. So, you know, take it how you will, right? Yin and Yang, for not having Frenzy and Flurry, actually have solid magnifications, and no one will have Killer against them. So they really are effective Soul Reaper Killer autoers. A lot better than a lot of the other characters in D tier, but you're still in C tier, so it is what it is. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and start this tier off with Senna. And just start beats her off. She is a recharge hollow killer. She does have a beam for strong attack, 1500 link beam, not 2500. And her second is a crawling vortex. Her third is a full screen. Pretty standard stuff with this character. To Jackie. Jackie does have a lunging first strong attack and a boost move. Second strong attack, standard boost move, and a full screen. Third with Hollow Killer. If she does get resurrected and she does get a SAR link, you know, maybe some extra Bruiser Berserker, I think she'll actually be a very, very solid unit. You know, people kind of give her a lot of shit, but it is what it is. I mean, you know, her power is called Dirty Boots. Like, I don't really see how you can justify that. Next we're going to talk about the 1000-year blower Orihime. The reason she's so low on here is because she's a ranged hollow killer, and her second strong attack is a heal move with melee orientation. So she can only break guard with her first strong attack and her third, and her first is pretty bad at breaking guard as it's range collision and it's split into three. It's just like, come on, man. They just did this character pretty bad. All in all, I would say Jushiro's technically better than Orihime, I think, but especially because his first strong attack versus hers, but she does have SAR in the heal, you know, compared to, you know, him having full stamina damage. But when he gets resurrected, he could see himself, you know, getting upgraded, you know. Moving on to Armored Yoruichi, she really is, her main sin is really the fact that she doesn't have a full screen soul bomb, and even being resurrected didn't help her much at all. When you don't have a full screen soul bomb, you're just massively hindered. You know, it's just a huge thing. She does have long stride, so that's one of the best skills in the game for clear time. Actually, the best. But, you know, and her kit is solid. You know, lunging first, and her second is essentially the AoE of a regular boost move. But, yeah, her third is pretty solid. It's essentially a distant AoE. But her soul bomb not being full screen really kills her. She would have been the best Arankar killer for years if she would have just had a full screen soul bomb. Moving on to the swimsuit Yoruichi, no affiliation killer, weakening on everything. She does have a range collision first and a vortex second with the full screen third. 4 flash steps. She doesn't have Bruiser she doesn't have Berserker, excuse me. But the reason I think she's over this Zio is because her killer is still a lot better, and she at least has SAR. This fool don't even have SAR. Like, bro, this Zio is literally the quality of a 2018 character. Like, just horrible. Like, without a doubt, the worst character of 2021 thus far. Like, no matter how you slice it, the worst character of 2020 so far is Zio Laporo. Like, if you're a Zio stan, sit down. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and start with A tier, starting off with the Holo Eisen, Power Eisen, or Ryzen. So he does have a beam first strong attack, the best first strong attack in the game, and his second is a moving vortex, and his third is a full screen. The thing that makes this character a little bit better than what he should be is the fact that his normal attack, it has enhanced multiplications on the last 2 hits. So it has triple the damage. So, you know, if you put them in the vortex and you can actually use some normal attacks against them, you're going to have a higher chance of doing massive chunks of damage if you have this character built right. And a lot of people might have some transcendence into him. I mean, you know, weakening is king. Then we're going to go ahead and, he does have Hollow Killer, by the way. Then we're going to go ahead and move on to the Campfire World Nelia. She's a very solid character. You know, I feel like if she would have had Havoc, she would be a way better character. Even with the range collision first, she had Havoc, boy, because she would have the best third strong tech in the game, in my personal opinion. So her first range collision, she has 40 Bruiser Berserker with 60 Devastation. Soul Reaper Killer, which Power Soul Reaper Killer is one of the most clustered niches in the game. But she is a very solid character, although she does have a range collision first strong attack. She does have double immunities as well with guard break, so she's a very solid autoer. Moving on to the Power White Ichigo, he does have a lunge first strong attack. His second is the 725 beam that Eisen has that for his first strong attack. So, you know, he does have that in common with him, except for, you know, first versus second. His third, however, is not full screen, so that does kind of hold him back. And, you know, when it's all said and done, you know, I will probably say that this Grimmjow is a little bit better than White, even though he has weakening. For the simple fact that Grimmjow does have Bruiser Berserker and he does have a double lunge kit. I would say White does have a better second strong attack, but the third not being full screen does hold him back a little bit. Makoto, a lot of people give him shit, but his kit is similar to a lot of people's favorite characters, which is weird. He has pretty much the same kit as the 1000-year blower Uryu, but, you know, no havoc, right? Anyways, range collision first, and his second is the like range collision, melee collision, combination attack, distant, you know, projectile, and his third is a full screen with last rate on everything. 20 Bruiser Berserker with Hollow Killer. Not very much to say about this character. You know, he's solid, but at the time he came out, he should still be way better, but his kit isn't that good. This soy phone, getting resurrected really did give her a boost. She does have Havoc, and a lot of people forgot about that. Havoc with the boost, 4 flash steps. So all she needed was some Bruiser Berserker, and she got that when she got resurrected. So all in all, man, this is a very, very solid character. Range, a Rancor killer. She has a very similar first strong attack to Bambi, and her second used to be one of the biggest boost AoE moves in the game, and her third is 1200 radius. So very solid. This soy phone, human killer, burn, lunge, first strong attack. Her second is the same as Can't Fear in World Aaron. So third strong attack is full screen. She's an okay character, but yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the tag team Yamamoto, who does have a beam first strong attack and a grouping combustion second strong attack. It hits in 2 waves. It's the same as like Kokoto or Spirit Society Grimmjow. His third is a charge attack. Tag team Ichigo, very, very solid character for back when he was, except now that plant vortex is going to hold you back massively. He does have Havoc, and his first strong attack is a lunge, which is very solid. His third is 1080 radius, and he does have double killers, being Soul Reaper and a Rancor. Very solid character, but I wish his second wasn't a vortex. You know what I'm saying? Third anniversary Okiura, he does have no affiliation killer. He has a weird place because he's the only booster for Guild Quest for no affiliation week. So that kind of does give him a little bit of leeway, and he also does have weakening, but his third is a charge attack that hits in 2 waves. And you know, his first is pretty solid for a lunge. All in all, no affiliation killer. Never really got, you know, that main staple content that we were looking for aside from 1 week of Guild Quest. You know, he does have a poise and a barrier as well as a boost. So he's a solid character for support. Only if you would have got a Sarlink, he'll be a lot better. Next, we're going to move into the auto/epic raid. These characters are just really good to auto, you know. So starting off, the best kit for an auto character is going to be a lunging first strong attack, a surrounding vortex with weakening or some type of status element, and then some type of a full screen third or a grouping combustion attack, and that is exactly what she has. If she had guard break, she would literally be the best autoer in the game. She doesn't, so she's still a very solid autoer and pretty much the best you can have without, you know, having guard break, right? She also does have the potion link skill for power, so that's, you know, that's her niche, right? But at the end of the day, she is one of the best autoers without guard break possible. This Nelio has the exact same kit as Haruka. Mind you, this Haruka does have Hollow Killer, and no one is going to have Killer against her, so that just makes her an even better autoer. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the Can't Fear in Word Nelio 2. And, you know, she does have a very unique Nad string. Only her and the 1000-year blower Yoruichi have that, where they lunge forward. She does have the exact same kit as Haruka, lunging first, surrounding vortex second, and a grouping combustion full screen third strong attack, with weakening on everything, and a Rancor killer with a strong attack recharge link. Just makes her get her, you know, strong attacks back a bit quicker. So she's a very solid character. If you want to play her manual with the full stamina link, she's going to be very solid. So let's go ahead and move on to weaken. Basically the same as these other 3 characters: lunging first, surrounding vortex second, weakening on the third, or weakening on the vortex, and full screen third. So pretty much the same, except he doesn't have a PvE killer. Unlike Nelia, who has an 80 Berserker, he does have Flurry. Same with Ruruka. So that's essentially what elevates them. But in stuff like IZ, this Nelia is going to clear faster than Kenny because her killer is going to get boosted. So, you know, she is a Rankar killer being in her niche as an autoer. She has a use. You know, if you need someone to auto Rankar stuff, she's going to be one of the fastest at doing that. Moving on to there's a Sadio Luigi. She does have a boost. Her killer kind of being Soul Reaper is one of the main things that kind of keeps her where she is. Her kit's very solid. Lunging first, and she has a standard boost second, and then a full screen third with 4 flash steps, as every Yoruichi does, with Flurry and a PvE killer. The only thing that could have made her better was a surrounding vortex with her boost. That would have made her, you know, better. But all in all, man, she's a very solid character with paralysis on everything. Ginray Kuchki is one of the best epic raid characters if he is a bonus. He has Flurry. His normal attack string just allows him to just essentially just rip normal attack strings. He sits in one place. He doesn't move. And he does have a PvE killer. So Ginray is a very, very solid unit, especially for autoing. And regular PvE content, he doesn't have guard break. So being ranged and being a hollow killer, he's going to struggle a lot. He has a range collision kit. So it's like, you know, his first strong attack isn't going to break guard that consistently if you have to break guard with them. But things like Epic Raid or Guild Quest as an assist character, he's just going to shred, okay? This Halibel is a very solid auto character, 16 DR. She doesn't have Flurry, but she has a decent bruiser for when she came out. The best thing about her is she has a paralysis immunity, and she can proc that paralysis. So at the end of the day, she's going to be a good character for autoing when she has killer and there's paralysis hazards. This man's so broken, he had to have his own tier, alright? So, Jugram is the best PvP character in the game, bar none. This is a power tier list, and this is a PvE tier list, but he's so god-awfully busted in PvP, he literally needed his own tier. And I didn't want to put him above everyone else in regular PvE content. He's a solid, but he doesn't have a good killer. So it's like, he's an okay autoer, but he's in this tier just for his PvP prowess alone. Mind you, this is a PvE tier list, but he is just a god tier PvP character, and I don't feel like I can have a power tier list and not mention that this is the #1 greatest PvP character in the game. His only counter is a speed character with Flurry DR and Transcendence in the defense. That's pretty much it. So, yeah, 10-second Brave Battle immunity, and he counters any status elements for the first 10 seconds. After that 10 seconds, he can be beat out by any character that you just built to tank and last a very long time. So he does kind of have a counter. But he is still Zabroken. Alright, now we're into the nitty gritty. Like, it's getting... I'm talking about, now we're talking about so close between clear time and overall usefulness. We're talking about seconds, or one's better in one case, one's better in another case. So it's like, it's getting very, very tough. So I know in the past, I've went ahead and put Nimue over this Toshiro. I truly feel like with his first strong attack having slightly more AoE than hers, his second strong attack being better in most cases, being the best second strong attack in the game, 800 radius, and he does have freezing with weakened defense. That's one of the best combinations in the game to completely debilitate the enemy for 7 seconds while giving yourself massive buff in your damage and your whole party. So in things like Guild Quest, he is going to be a way better character than Nimue overall because of how more important weakened defense is. So all in all, man, I got to give it to the boy Tosh, Adult Tosh to start S tier. He does have, like I said, slightly more AoE on his first. And the biggest thing between these two is you might say, oh, well, Nimue has 20% Bruiser Berserker. Well, if you take what is scaling now, she doesn't have any status elements. So he has freeze. So if you have no status elements, you get 20 more Bruiser and Berserker than someone without that. So essentially, if you compare them in line, they're essentially right at the exact same tier. She has an extra flash step and a revive mechanic on her soul bomb, but in everything else, aside from co-op, you want that pure speed. So if you have, you know, if you're doing like guild quests and you got weakened defense and you got some transcendence into this character, he's going to be way more useful than reviving. You know, in this game you're rewarded for speed clearing, not being more useful overall. So I got to give it to the boy Tosh. Nemu does have Havoc plus Bruiser Berserker with a lunge first. She does have the 3000 length beam second strong attack instead of, in, you know, 800 radius second strong attack. You know, I would say the battle of second strong attack, she can win it in co-op sometimes if it's like a really far map, but most of the times that spread 800 radius is going to be a lot better. But it's very close between these two characters. Same with all four of these characters right here. These are all power Arankar killers with SAR. And right now you're looking at weaken on everything with 20 Bruiser Berserker. These two have the exact same first and second. The only difference is the third. And this Okiura has a straight full screen third. This Toshiro has a distant AoE 975 full screen strong attack. So this character is significantly better for anything like autoing. Manual content, full screen, straight full screen is good, but most of the time, unless you just completely botch your strong attack placement, a 975 distant AoE third strong attack is better, in my opinion, and in most people's opinion, than a standard full screen third. So, like I said, both have a Rankar killer SAR, 14 SAR versus 12. You got 20 Bruiser Berserker. He does have weakened defense, which does help him considerably, but weaken is still a little bit better when you compare that he has it on all of his strong attacks. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next very close comparison, is the Christmas Veruca and the Bankai Renji. Now, both of these characters have essentially very similar first and second strong attacks. They both have double lunge kits, being lunging first and lunging second strong attack with Havoc, right? So they both have that in common. The biggest difference is that she has a full screen third strong attack with Havoc. So 1200 radius versus 1080 radius, which is going to do double the damage, but you are going to waste 3 seconds charging the attack. In some cases, you can pre-charge the attack before you walk into the room, but in things like co-op, when you want to use your charge attack on the bosses, you definitively cannot pre-charge that attack until the bosses show up. So at the end of the day, he doesn't have any status element. She has burn, and she is in line with the Bruiser Berserker of today's date. So very solid character. She essentially has 40 Berserker with her Link and her Berserker that she got with Resurrection with 10 SAR. So very solid character. Is getting very close, nip and tuck, like I said, you guys. Yeah, Ryuki. The thing about this character is that he does have a 12 by 1200 radius, first strong attack, pure melee collision, so it's very good, but it doesn't have that distance, but it has more width. So it can be better in some situations, but in most cases 1200 radius in front of you lengthwise isn't going to be enough. And his second strong attack is a range collision outward attack that really does hold him back. I would, however, say the battle of the first strong attacks and killer, Shunsui has it. And his second strong attack can nuke bosses in guild quest, you know, and in co-op. And his first, you can just rely on it to spam mobs and kill mobs with that. Versus this Shunsui, his first is very unreliable. It hits in 3 waves, so the damage can never really get max damage on anything less than 1 wave of enemies. It literally cannot. So the battle of the first strong attacks goes significantly to Ryukin, even though I would say Shunsui does have a better second strong attack than Ryukin. Otherwise, it's very close between these two. And no affiliation killer versus soul reaper killer is pretty much no contest as far as that. We can go ahead and move on to our God tier, or S tier, our champions of battle. And listen, I feel like everybody understands 5th anniversary Ichigo is overall the best power character in the game. I don't feel like there's any disputing that. Some people were okay, who's better between him and Rukia? There's really no comparison. There is, right? But he clearly wins it. Weakening is better than freeze. His second killer is better than hers. On top of that, he has Marauder. Like, let's just stop the cap, okay? Let's just stop it, all right? And he even has the additional flash step. So all in all, man, this is the best power character that we have available. Now, I do want to tell you guys, he had the best magnifications of a character with the status element next to this Rukia. She does hit harder while she's in her transformation state, but we'll get into her in just a moment. Lunging first strong attack with Havoc, the best second strong attack in the game, standardly 960 AoE, distant, and his third is one of the best third strong attacks in the game. It's a distant AoE charge attack, so it has double the damage and this crazy radius in front of him, behind him, and on the side of him. It's basically the perfect third strong attack, okay? You do have to charge it to get maximum output, but you can still not charge it, and it's still like 870 in front of you with back and side range. So it's still really good to get you out of a pinch. Weakening can proc on it, giving you massive spikes of damage. And like I said, Marauder gives him guard break and allows him to bypass melee resistance, making him overall best in 4 weeks of guild quest, best in extreme co-op, like double killer. There's just nothing that this character can't do in a game where everything is blocked by killer or melee or range. He bypasses everything with weakening. One of the best kits that you can possibly have, and the best status element. Moving on to Bankai Rukia, adult, 10 years past. She is second best power character in the game. I literally had to test her versus Lille Baro to see if her magnification difference versus his kit makes up for it. And it does. It does. You know, she hits so damn hard on top of having a status element. On top of every 30 seconds, she can do her Bankai transformation, and it does cool down. So you can go to that Bankai transformation more than once. It's not locked behind something like a Soul Bomb. You're going to get way more powerful in terms of your magnification and your ability to proc status elements. She is very great. The thing that kind of like takes her a little bit down from Fugetsu is the fact that her second killer, it doesn't make her good in different types of content, whereas his makes him good in different types of content. Like if it's Inheritance Zone, you're gonna have a Rancor killer mobs, and the boss is going to be an Rancor and an Espada. So she's going to smack big damage for those bosses, especially in the IZ. But that doesn't give her an extra IZ that she can participate in. You see what I'm saying? You know, whereas Ichigo, he has a Holo killer and a Rancor killer. So both of those are two completely separate entities, and you know, there will be Holos without a Rancor. There will never be a Spada without a Rancor. So her second killer gives her more damage, but it doesn't make her that much more versatile, except in that Espada week of Guild Quest, where she does reign supreme in that, essentially. I'm going to go ahead and move on to Lille Baro, the best kitted character in the game. Like, I promise you guys, I literally compared, I did speed tests between him and Bankai Rukia, and Rukia was about 2 seconds faster. The situation really wasn't ideal, but I put them both on a raid where neither of them had killer or attribute advantage, so the pure magnification stood out, and she did, you know, beat him out. And yeah, they're both the exact same build and everything. He does have the best killer possible. He has the best kit possible with guard break and hidden enemy skill, with crazy magnifications as well. This is literally the best kitted character. If you go by who had the best kit, stats, skills, damage, it's him, Lille Baro, okay? Overall, because of usefulness, because of double killers, because of things like range resistance and, you know, a lot of other factors, characters like Fugetsu are better. But if you go straight kit, Lille Baro is better. Same with Bankai Shinji, same with SSBI. Now, obviously, these two aren't as good. They're the downgraded version of Lille Baro. Both of these two have the exact same kit and killer, but they both have status elements versus Lille Baro has guard break, 40 Bruiser Berserker. He has the hidden enemy skill, which makes him so damn good, and guard break means he never loses damage. But this Shinji does pass 20% strong attack damage to any power captain with the best kit in the game. 870 beam, 3000 linked first, 960 radius distant AoE third, and a 1200 radius full screen third strong attack. The best kit in the entire game imaginable, and all three of these characters have the exact same kit. So if you go by straight kit, if you have any work in any of these characters, you're not doing bad, okay? And with the combination of Fugetsu having Holo Killer and a Rancor Killer, her having a Rancor Killer and a Spada Killer, and these three having Soul Reaper Killer, you don't need any other power character. Everything's covered. You see what I'm saying? This Nimue is a little bit less as good as these three overall because she has a lunge instead of a beam first. And a beam first is about 3 times better in most map situations than a lunge. So just keep that in mind. But she does have Demigod kit, lunge first, 960 second, and a full screen third. A Rancor Killer, she was the best Rancor Killer imaginable. And then 2 weeks later, Fugetsu comes and like, just, you feel me, just smacks her upside the head. The next character we're going to talk about is this new Yoruichi that we got. If she wasn't a power Soul Reaper Killer, then it'll be okay. But everything is covered in power. She does have a 1200 by 1200 beam first, and her second is a 960 radius. So, and it's a boost move. So with this strong attack, now we're in an era where boost characters won't just waste their boost move just because to get a boost and won't hit enemies. Her AoE is so large that she will indefinitely hit enemies every time, even if the AI boosts without trying to hit enemies, she will still hit them. 1200 radius full screen, very, very great magnification with process on everything, and she is a Yoruichi, so she does get 4 flash steps. The reason that she's over this Hikone, his first strong attack is, I would say, 2 times better than hers, but her second is way better than this Hikone's. Oh god, it's way better. She's also 1 flash step faster. But yeah, so this Hikone does have the best first strong attack in the game and the best third in my personal opinion, which is 1170 distant AoE, back range, side range, everything else in front. His second strong attack holds him back that bad comparatively to all the other god tier SS characters. But I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, man. It took a lot, you feel me? But I got more tier list videos for you guys coming soon. And man, let me know what kind of content you guys like to see more, man. If I do summons, like, are y'all gonna see if I do, like, come on now. I've done summons. I don't be seeing y'all there all the time. I'm sort of looking like, where the people at, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Show me some love. And if you really want to support me, follow me at twitch.tv/dpower24. But until next time, I do love y'all. I'm out.
I'll make a wish. All them people done that to me.